Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead. The anime is a 12-episode anime. I waited until all of them aired on Netflix before trying to check it out. This is based off the manga about Akira Tendo. He is a corporate office drone working for a marketing company. However, it ends up being an exploitative company. He ends up drinking the Kool-Aid of the overwork culture, where people like to brag about how many unlogged overtime hours they've worked. And he's afraid of leaving that job because then he'll put burden on his coworkers, which he likes. So he's been working as a slave for 3 years until zombie apocalypse. A virus has wiped out most of the city. So he wakes up and he doesn't have to go to work. And he decides, I want to do a bucket list of stuff before I expire or get bitten by a zombie. This is a very different kind of anime. It is a zombie horror series, but it's less about the horror. It's more about the characters trying to do what they want. It's more about aspirations, and there's still some horrific set pieces, but it's not too focused on that. It's more of a comedy, slice of life, and zombies happen to be in the series. So the first episode is the pilot of him waking up and realizing he doesn't have to go to work. The second episode is him going on a beer run, meeting a woman named Miss Risk Analyst. She's like a very quiet, introverted, sort of calculated risk type person who doesn't want to give him her contact info to him because she doesn't think he takes the apocalypse seriously, and he's not. He's a former rugby player, so he's ripped. And that's another aspect that doesn't make sense. It is a comedy, but why would Akira Tendo still have his rugby physique working in an office for 3 years? He wouldn't have time to go to the gym, and so that doesn't make sense. So the third episode, he basically has to go rescue his friend who he's not seen in a year, and goes on a big trip to save his friend because he's lonely, and also his friend happens to be alive. And then there's another misadventure with some flight attendants in episode 4, something simple, another item list to take down. And then episode 5 is where the live-action movie has its climax. It mixes episodes 5 and maybe 6 or 7 for a big climax. That's the climax of that movie. But the anime, it's just an aquarium adventure where they meet some people, and Akira wants to become a superhero. So he wants to go to an aquarium to get a shark-proof suit so that he can't be bitten by zombies, which is really great. And then, let's see, there's also an episode where they get an RV and go on a road trip because they want to leave the city. Too many zombies. That's a fun episode. 7 is the mix of 5 for the live-action movie. 7's a really important episode, though. It's really great antagonists in this series, I noticed. From, the humans obviously are the more despicable people, and there's some despicable types in this anime for sure. And then they move on to a hot spring, a sort of detour of just enjoying the road trip, and then they meet a man in the forest, and then they have a 3-part series finale, which is pretty good. I mean, tries not to be too violent, but I really liked the finale. Really good villains. There's a really interesting dynamic. It's really simple, but it's really effective, and it's a really interesting, there's actually a really emotional part in the last episode that made me almost cry. So, when I was watching this, I was like, this is just kind of like a fun, goofy. They're not really working too hard on the survival aspect of everything. There's leaps of logic here and there, but there is some emotional stuff going on in the last episode that I liked. So overall recommendation, really good anime style. There's instead of just blood, there's like a multicolored thing going on. It's a artistic choice, but overall I recommend Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead. Don't know if there'll be a season 2, but season 1 is worth checking out.